What's the fastest you've ever seen a teacher lose their job? I was sitting in class when I got a text, and since we weren't allowed phones in class, I tried to reply from under my desk. Then I heard it. Phone. Now. Miss O'Callahan was standing over me with her hand out. The whole class went quiet. I shook my head. Wait, just 5 minutes, please. My grandma is having a heart attack and doesn't speak English. She needs me to help her with what to do. While Miss O'Callahan was talking, I was still typing, telling my grandma to take the medication in the orange bottle by the sink. I spoke, please, can I just make a call to the paramedics? It'll just take a second. Suddenly, Miss O'Callahan grabbed the phone out of my hand. You'll get it back at the end of the semester. Then she walked to the top of the room and kept teaching like nothing had ever happened. I felt all my classmates stare at me to see what I'd do next. I stood up and walked to the top of the room to grab my phone back. Miss, please, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just that my granny really needs me. She could die. Just give me 2 minutes. No! Miss O'Callahan interrupted, and before I could react, she grabbed my phone and threw it on the floor. Crunch. She stepped on it with her ugly black heel. Hard. The screen shattered and the whole thing went dead. The color drained from my face. I looked around the room and saw my boy beckoning me to sit down. And when I did, he passed me his phone with a note that said, use this to call 911. I knew I only had about 20 seconds until Miss O'Callahan grabbed his phone too. I spoke to the paramedics in 4 times speed. Hi, I live on 39 Gumdrop Road. My grandma is having a heart attack. Oh, now. I didn't even get to hear their response because Miss O'Callahan marched right to my desk and took the phone. She didn't crush this one. She just took it and gave me this look like I was the problem, but I didn't care because I thought everything would be okay. I even dapped my friend up when Miss O'Callahan wasn't looking. But a few minutes later, the phone rang. It was the paramedics calling back. Miss O'Callahan picked it up and put it on speaker. Look, she started. They're going to tell you that you were overreacting. The class was silent as we heard the voice come through the speaker. Is this the family member who called? I'm sorry to inform you that when we arrived, she was unresponsive. We did everything we could, but we weren't able to revive her. Beep. Miss O'Callahan hung up. The room went dead silent. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. My grandma was gone, and this teacher made me listen to it on speaker in front of everyone. I looked up at her. She wasn't smiling anymore. She looked pale. She knew what she did. She tried to make excuses. Well, you should have called from the principal's office. There's procedures for this kind of thing. But even she didn't sound so sure anymore. You killed my grandmother, I said slowly, feeling anger boiling. That's when it happened. A girl at the back of the class stood up, with tears streaming down her face. His grandma took me in when I had nowhere to go. She fed me and gave me a bed for 6 months until I got back on my feet. Then another kid stood up. He said, she paid for my mom's prescriptions when we couldn't afford them. She barely even knew us. His voice cracked. Then another. She drove me to school every day for a year when my parents worked doubles. Never asked for gas money. Nothing. 3 students. 3 people whose lives my grandma changed. And they all stood there staring at this teacher who took her away from all of us. Miss O'Callahan didn't say a word. She just stood there frozen with her mouth open like she finally understood what she had done. I stood up slowly. I wasn't angry anymore. I was past that. I walked to her desk, picked up her coffee mug, and poured it across everything. Her papers, her keyboard, her grade book, all of it soaked. She started yelling at me, threatening detention, suspension, whatever she could think of. I didn't react. I just set the mug down gently and looked at her. Then I picked up her landline phone and dialed the principal's office. When he answered, I said, I need someone in room 14. Miss O'Callahan stopped me from saving my grandma's life. Now she's dead. It only took a few minutes for the principal to show up. He looked at the classroom, looked at the teacher, looked at me. Then he turned to her and said, you're a disgrace. Get out. I didn't wait to see what happened next. I just walked out.